to go over friction. And friction is pretty simple. You'll have learned about it before, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Friction exists whenever two surfaces touch each other in some form or fashion. This is a type of force that only works if the objects are touching, and it always acts in the opposite direction to the object's movement. So like if I'm rolling a ball in this direction, the friction works in that direction. And it's eventually what slows everything down on Earth, and it creates heat. So again, if I'm rolling a ball this way, it's eventually going to come to a stop because friction is pulling on it this way. And we like friction here on Earth because it allows us to walk, use wheeled vehicles, sit down, hold things without slipping and sliding around everywhere. And there are 4 different types of friction. The first one is static friction. This is the one that allows us to be still. So anytime you have like a book on a table, you're sitting still in a chair, chair's sitting on the floor, anything that's not moving is going to be considered static friction. And then you have sliding friction. The definition is pretty much in the name. Whenever you are sliding 2 objects over each other, that would be considered sliding friction. So if you were like pushing a book across a desk or anything like that, that would be considered sliding friction. Rolling friction, again, pretty self-explanatory. It involves wheels. So bikes, cars, roller skates, anything like that would be considered rolling friction. And then you have fluid friction. This is produced when an object moves through a fluid, and air counts as a fluid in this case. I'm honestly not sure why, but it does. This type of friction is pretty much always acting on you. You have like air pressure that's around you. If you jump out of an airplane, that's air resistance. The friction of the air pushing on your body will slow you down. If you're swimming through the water is considered fluid friction, and again, it slows you down. You have to use more force to do that. If you're ever swimming in like a pool of oil, that would also count too. So anything to do with liquid or air would be considered fluid friction. Again, air resistance is a type of fluid friction. If you ever want to turn sliding friction or static friction into fluid friction, you would have to apply some sort of liquid. So like if I'm walking on the floor and there's water on the floor and I slip on the water, that's not sliding friction anymore, it's fluid friction. So if you ever want to add add fluid friction to a situation, you basically have to spill water or oil or whatever. And again, friction is good because we want to be able to move when we want to, especially if you are driving a car. You never want your car wheels to look like that. You want them to be have a texture on them and have the treads be really deep, because the more friction that is on your car tires, the easier your car will be able to stop, so you don't get in a car accident and die. Same thing with like non-slip bath mats. Your parents probably put those in the bathtub when you were a kid so you didn't fall and crack your head open. The treads on your shoes, another good example. You want to be able to stop when you want to and grip onto things. So